Guys, so in this video I want to talk about another programming concept, and this programming concept is if and else statements. And here's the analogy I like to think about when I'm thinking about these types of statements. So imagine you're driving down the road and you approach a fork. You can either go left or you can go right. There are no other options. Well, you choose to go left or right based on some sort of parameter. Maybe you decide to go left because there's a grocery store to the left and you need to buy groceries. Or you decide to go right because there's a gas station to the right and you need gasoline. Well, if-else statements are the programming equivalents of using parameters to make a decision to fork left or to fork right. So let's use this example program I've created, and let's look at the if and else statement in detail so we can better understand its anatomy and the power that these types of statements provide. So first off, I've created two variables up here. I defined x to be equal to 1, and I've defined y to be equal to 3. These are the parameters that we're going to use in an if-else statement in order to fork left or right. And so here's how you actually create an if-else statement. Well, you first type in the word if, and then you type in a parameter. And this parameter is helping you choose to go left or right. So the parameter here is x greater than 0? And if x is greater than 0, do everything that is underneath the if. And it'll only ever do what is underneath the if this parameter ends up being true. If this parameter is not true, then it'll automatically skip to else and do everything that's underneath the else. So looking at this program in whole, it checks is x greater than 0? And x is greater than 0. So that means it's going to do everything underneath the if before skipping to end. So if we run the program, it prints out x is greater than 0 because it said, okay, this parameter is true, do everything underneath this parameter before skipping to end. So let's change it up a little bit. Let's say I make x equal to -1. So if we look at the program again, it's going to check this parameter, is x greater than 0? Well, it's not true, so it will not do this, but instead automatically skip to else and do everything that's underneath else. So if we run the program again, it'll say x is not greater than 0. Good. And so this is really powerful. Now we have a way to choose based on some sort of parameter to either fork left or to fork right. But this isn't actually the complete power of if-else statements. We can actually fork in as many directions as we want to, and we do that by writing else-if statements. And so else-if statements allow us to check an additional parameter. But it's important to note that else-if statements always come between if and else. You're allowed to check as many other additional parameters as you want to, but they always must come between if and else. So we can check a second parameter like this. We can say else if y is equal to 3, then display y is equal to 3. So now we can check another parameter. So we start out, we say, hey, is x greater than 0? Well, nope, that's not true, so skip all this. And we say, hey, is y equal to 3? And it is. So that means we do everything underneath this else if before skipping to end. So we run the program again. And as you can see, y is equal to 3. And so now this is the greatest power of if-else statements. Now we have the ability to check based on prior data and make some sort of decision further down in our programs. So now we can decide, hey, based on whatever we've done earlier in the program, let's fork left, let's fork middle, or let's fork right. And so that's the true power of these types of statements. So I hope this video helps, and I'll see you guys in the next one.